We have another one here from Beefy Darnell. Full body apparition woke me up. Remember, folks, if you have had an experience would like me to share it here on these new archives that we're doing called What Do You Think, where I make these little videos. Each one is its own encounter. Each one is its own conversation starter. Get in there, join the conversation, start the conversation, share the video, share your experience, connect with people. Maybe you've had that same experience. That's what these videos are all about. Let's go. Beefy Darnell shares, full body apparition woke me up. Growing up, my sister always hated being in her room. She rarely went inside alone and refused to sleep in there. She was always a scared kid, so nobody thought much about this. She used to tell us that there was an old lady who lived in her closet, and at night she would come out and stare at her. Sometimes she said the old lady would grab her feet or poke at her. Eventually she started sleeping in there again when she got older, but I don't think she ever felt comfortable. When I moved out, she took my old room. I ended up moving back home after a few years, and since then she switched to my old room. My only option was to take her old room. This was in 2015. I lived in that room totally fine for the first few weeks, maybe even a month. I had actually forgotten how scared she used to be of the room. One night, I had a friend staying with me, and we had both fallen asleep. I woke up sometime through the night. I don't know the exact time, but I know it was after midnight. I thought my friend was sitting up on the edge of the bed looking at me. It was pretty dark in the room, but not pitch black. I could very easily see a human figure there. I assumed it was my friend sitting there, and after a minute or so of her just staring at me, I started asking if she was okay or if she had needed anything. She wouldn't answer me, and it seemed eerie, but I was still half asleep and didn't want to put too much thought into it. I told her she should lay back down, and I closed my eyes and started settling into my pillow. Then I felt her lean down next to my face. I could actually feel her hand press into the mattress next to me, and I could feel her weight shift and her head touch the pillow beside me. I opened my eyes because it startled me how close she was to my face. I do wear contacts, and I had taken them out to sleep, so all of this was pretty blurry on top of the darkness, but it was still obviously a person. I could make out a face staring directly into my eyes, but I couldn't see it with great detail. At this point, I'm still assuming it's my friend, but regardless of who it was, the behavior was very strange. I instinctively flinched away from the face being so close to mine, and I said something like, "What are you doing?" or "What's wrong?" But again, she didn't answer. I watched it sit back up and felt its weight shift again. I was pretty unsettled by this point, so I just closed my eyes again and hoped she would lay back down. After laying there with my eyes closed for a few seconds, I felt a finger press hard into my forearm right below my elbow, and it quickly swiped up to my wrist. The feeling of that finger was so indescribably cold, and it was a feeling that lingered. After that, I was very shaken and fully awake. I opened my eyes and looked at this woman again. I started putting everything together and realizing how strange this was. Glowing isn't the right word, but there was definitely a lighter tint to this being than the rest of the dark room. This is when I looked next to me and realized my friend was still laying there asleep. She was over near the edge of the bed, and I was laying back against the wall. Whatever was sitting there staring at me had to have been sitting on my friend's legs. Oh my gosh. I didn't feel panicked exactly, but I was very unsure what to do. I had a sense that this woman wasn't evil and didn't want to harm me. But I was still freaked out, so I just slowly rolled over to face the wall instead. I didn't take my eyes off it until I had rolled over. It watched me the whole time, and I felt like it understood that I was scared. I've seen things before, but nothing like this. That was the only time I ever saw the woman. Also, I'm just assuming it was a woman. It was dark and blurry, but the energy I guess I felt just like a woman to me. I don't think it was a dream because I never actually went back to sleep. I laid there facing the wall with my eyes closed until I heard someone else get up. Edit. I also want to mention that I do have sleep paralysis every now and then, but this experience was totally different. Wow. I mean, folks, I get amazed. These people having these experiences, there's something going on. There's a lot of similarities to other ones I've heard. So use the comments below, and if you've had one, let me know. And as always, I ask, what do you think?